visit to Turkey. It's incredible, the changes I see, the progress I see. So congratulations, all of you people from this great nation. It's what you're doing, and you can do more than that, and I'm sure you're going to be doing it.
Well, thank you very much. It actually brings me a lot of pride when I hear such wonderful words about Turkey, because I think Turkey and Mexico both are mixed in their blessing, and also maybe it's also sometimes a problem due to their proximity to superpowers. Mexico being with the United States, Turkey with the European Union. But Mexico is a member of G8+5, Turkey is now in G20, and the economies are growing. And now I think both countries are becoming more politically active in terms of foreign affairs, foreign policy issues, international issues. How can Turkey and Mexico collaborate a bit better in terms of trade and also any...
Yeah, you're absolutely right. We have many similarities. Yeah. We come from very ancient cultures. Yeah. We have the Mayan culture, the Aztec culture. You have here the Ottoman empires and all what you have behind. And so that makes us very similar. Number two, we play very strategic roles worldwide. Yeah. We're in a strategic geopolitical situation, both of us, and I think we should have a much intense contact, much more intense contact, because we will have a lot to learn from each other and a lot to work together. So I find this amazing, this nation, this Turkey, and really surprising. So I think that we could do great things for the world if we are closer together, and I really would appreciate this happening as soon as possible.
Because I think the Turkish-Mexican relationships did get a kickstart when the former late Ismail Cem, foreign minister, paid a visit to Mexico back in, I think, 2001. It was during your presidency. And then the Turkish Prime Minister Erdogan and President Felipe Calderon, they signed an agreement to strengthen the political dialogue between the two governments in 2009. But still the trade between the two countries is quite limited. Turkey and Brazil has done a lot of deals, and we have this free trade agreement. It's still being worked out between Turkey and Mexico. But one thing that we should point out to our viewers is maybe Mexico City and Istanbul have become sister cities since November last year.
Yes.
And hopefully we'll be able to increase trade, and your visit here is of course of very much importance, because, and also this interview, because our viewers are going to get to know Mexico better and hopefully do a bit more business between two countries.
Yeah, maybe we've been too busy, each one in our own region. For instance, Mexico has been highly concentrated on developing its relationship and its partnership trade agreement with the United States, which has been very fruitful for Mexico. I think it's been a great thing that we associated in that trade agreement with the United States and Canada. We have the largest, by far, the largest trade balance in all of Latin America. As a matter of fact, Mexico with the United States and Canada trades more products and services than what all of Latin America does together. So partnering and working together, it's great. And I hope to see one day, I don't want to interfere in whatever the Turkish people will decide to do, but I think the day that this nation is associated to the Union, to the European Union, it's going to have great big opportunities for both, which happened to Mexico with United States. So a lot of strategic issues that we can work together, and this means that when hopefully in the near future we'll have more time, we should work more together. I was mentioning today that we each year we have 1 week of One Nation at Vicente Fox, which is our think tank, library, and academic center that we built after the presidency. And last year it was Spain, this year is Italy coming on May, and then for next year I will see that it would be great if we could put together a week of Turkey in Mexico, because that will strengthen the relationship much closer.
Definitely, and hopefully you'll partner with some think tanks and universities here. Hopefully,
yes,
that will come up. You have described yourself as an admirer of the U.S. President Bill Clinton and the UK Prime Minister Tony Blair, and similarly support a third way style of politics, a centrist reconciliation between capitalism and socialist command of economy. And do you believe that the global economic crisis has given further proof that softer brand of capitalism is needed in the world?
Well, I have not definite thoughts on how we should go. On one side, I am a deep believer in the market, and the market and its capacity that it has to generate wealth, and that's done through private investment and through private sector. But on the other side, sometimes the market is very tough, especially with the poor and those who don't have opportunities. So the need for governments to intervene is absolutely crucial. So it has to be a blend, as you well said. And this is the way we have to look at the future and try to build it through this combination of a strong economy with strong investment and capacity to generate jobs and wealth. And on the other side, powerful social policies like the one we have developed in Mexico. We have two key programs there that I think should be an interest to people that is watching this program. One we call Seguro Popular. It's a Medicare insurance that is for the poor. So it's highly subsidized, and the poor of the poor don't even pay 1 penny for participating and having the best access to Medicare, to hospitals, to surgery, to doctors, to medicine at no cost. And right now, Mexico, with this strategy, has reached close to 100% total coverage on Medicare for all citizens.
That's wonderful.
And number two is this program called Oportunidades, which Oportunidades means that for the poor, they get a subsidy, they get a direct cash transfer to the women of the house, and this is key to the women of the house, and then she has the commitment to invest that money in education of the kids, in health care of the kids, and in making sure that they stay in school. So it's like a scholarship. If they withdraw the kid from the school, they don't get the cash rebate anymore. So they have to keep the kids in school, and they have to invest the money in education and health. I think that's a great program, because just giving the fish, and by the way, here in this magnificent Bosphorus, I have an excellent fish that we've been eating all day. Delicious, and congratulations again. But you don't give the fish. You teach people how to fish, which is totally different. That works, and that works sustainable. That works permanently, and that's why this program of opportunities is so successful, because it's not just giving away the fish, it's not just giving away the grant, but it's asking in exchange that the family does the share of work that they have to do.
Well, Mr. President, if you allow for a quick commercial break, we'll be back.
Okay.
Liderler ve kararlara kısa bir ara veriyoruz. Liderler ve Kararlar'da bu hafta Meksika Başkanı Fox'la birlikteyiz. Kendisine en son olarak 3. yol adı verilen sosyalizmin yeni bir anlayışı olan politikayı danışıyorduk. Şimdi kendisiyle konulara devam ediyoruz. President Fox, actually as we just before the commercial break we were talking about third way and the two programs that you have in Mexico, we do have something very similar in Turkey, where the money is indeed given to the woman of the house, the wife of the family, and she actually has to in turn make sure that the kids are sent to school, and the money only keeps on coming on if the kids are in school. Actually, I think you've had some, maybe, I guess we all go through periods and we change our minds, because from what I read that you were originally supported the idea of privatizing Pemex, Petróleos de Mexico, and then since then have changed your mind. What made you change your mind?
No, I have not changed in the case of the oil. I think that the oil industry has to be open, not privatized, and this is the difference.
Okay.
It has to be open to private investment, because if you privatize, then you put maybe the oil in hands of the devil, which is some aggressive, hungry businessman that will take all the profits. No. It's a combination of public and private partnership investing, and this is what I have proposed to Congress in Mexico. Unfortunately, it didn't pass through. And let me give you an example. In the oil industry back, let's say, 10, 15 years ago, Petrobras from Brazil was a very small kid compared to Pemex, the Mexican oil company that was big and giant with a lot of technology. Petrobras in Brazil, they decided, my friend President Cardoso decided to put part of the stock of Petrobras in the open market and raised funds that were sufficient to be very aggressive in the growth of the company, to be very aggressive in attracting technology and developing technology. And today, Petrobras is 3 times larger than Pemex. Pemex is still a monopoly, state monopoly, does not accept, because of our Constitution, private investment, and I think we're hanging ourselves from the neck. And pretty soon we're not even going to have capacity to extract all the oil that we have underground. So my proposal is that one, to go the route of opening for private investment associated with public investment, and a corporation run publicly with transparency, with accountability, which Pemex doesn't have today. So that's what I've been promoting. By the way, it's the only one remaining monopoly on the energy field in the world. It's only Mexico, not even China or Russia or
That's
Cuba.
why I had to ask.
I think it's not doing well for us, this.
I see. Because Turkey is also in the midst of changing its energy law, and there is talk that after the elections that are upcoming in June 2011, we will have the new energy law, and I'm sure the two countries could also discuss the issues.
We should exchange.
Definitely, because there's a lot of offshore potential in Turkey, and for things that need technical ability, you do need to allow for private companies to come in with their know-how.
Yes,
I guess that's also one of the problems.
And the difference might be that we do have oil underground.
Yes.
I mean, Mexico is very rich in oil, which I understand Turkey is not.
At the moment, not at all. Yes.
So, and what I say is that being so rich in oil, in the case of Mexico, many will say it's a gift of God. But having a monopoly on it might better be, or seems to be, a gift of the devil, because they gave us the oil to make us lazy. So we have not done the fiscal and tax reform that we need, because we keep living out of the oil income. And that has made Mexicans and government very lazy. I think that we should have a tax reform, a fiscal reform, so that people have the opportunity to invest in your own nation through paying taxes, and not living out of the oil industry, which sooner or later it will diminish and it will disappear.
Definitely. There's so many issues related to energy, now with the new technology about shale gas, for example, subsoil law. How are you going to be organizing that? So, Well, one of the other problems, of course, one of the main issues when everybody talks about Mexico is violence. And there are many different ways of describing it. I've read a couple of different terms, such as criminal insurgency. The other one is mafia wars. or recently selected institutional failure. So depending on what terminology you want to use in order to define this phenomena, this situation in Mexico, it also really it becomes the defining factor as to how you're going to be solving this problem.